Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and I'll be taking you through this Warcry battle report between the Corvus Cabal and the Untamed Beasts. This Warcry battle report is going to be a little bit different than usual, as I'm going to try and do some smaller warbands at 600 points maximum, and this is going to field 4 fighters per warband for the Corvus Cabal and the Untamed Beasts. The Warcry warbands, the original ones, are going to be perfect for this lower point warband battle, but I don't think it's going to work for all the Age of Sigmar warbands, with some of them being like high point value per fighter, like Ogres and Stormcast Eternals. I think it could easily be unbalanced and unfair, but for the original Warcry ones, I think it's going to work out really well. So I've put together 4 of each fighters. Each team's going to have a leader as normal, and we're going to be able to use all of the abilities that come with each warband, and also those universal abilities too. I'm trying out some different terrain for this battle that I've really been looking forward to trying, and it's the Fantasy Village terrain by Battle Systems. And I recently did a video unboxing this and building it, and I think it looks great on the battlefield, on the tabletop. I think it's going to be really fun to play with these 2 warbands. We won't be going inside the buildings for this battle, but we'll just be going around them, and I've just mixed it with a couple of the planks from the Warcry Catacombs box set as well. The battle mat is also from Battle Systems. Now this is a 3x3 battle mat, which is going to be too big for Warcry, so I've just measured out roughly the size of the battlefield, used some of the fence to mark it off there, and then that's going to leave us just over a foot, which is perfect to put all our fighter cards, the ability cards, on each side for each of the 2 warbands, and we can also use that little space in the middle to roll our dice, and they're not going to bounce everywhere. So that's going to work out really nicely. I think this is going to be really fun trying this new points value for the warbands and also this new terrain. So let's get stuck in and start the battle. Corvus Cabal is being led by the Shadow Piercer, and the whole warband comes in at 585 points. And during this battle, they'll be using the Bringers of Death dice set. And for the hammer, we've got the Shadow Piercer and the Cabalist with Spear. In the shield, we've got the heavy hitting Shrike Talon and the Spire Stalker. The Untamed Beasts are being led by the mighty Heart Eater, and they're coming in at 590 points, and the dice we'll be using for those in the battle are the Warcry Chaos dice. In the hammer, we've got the Heart Eater and the Prey Taker with Fanged Axe. And in the shield, we've got the Beast Speaker and Rock Tusk Prowler. At this point, we'd usually do a priority roll, and this will get us prepared for our battle groups and the battle plan. But for this particular battle, I've chosen the Stranglehold card, and we're only going to be using the hammer and the shield. So all our fighters are going to come on at the same time, right at the beginning of the battle, and so we won't be using any of the dagger battle groups. So no one's going to come in at round 2. All the fighters are going to enter at the beginning of the battle. The Untamed Beast will be taking the blue deployment points, and the Corvus Cabal will be taking the red deployment points. We're not using any victory card or twist cards in this battle, and the victory will go to the warband, who completely kills all the other enemy fighters. There are no set number of rounds, so the battle will continue until one enemy warband's fighters are completely wiped out. Here's the terrain layout for our battle, and the Corvus Cabal have stumbled across this small village, killed all the inhabitants in some gruesome manner, and are taking as much loot as they can from it. There are some walkways so they can get across the roofs a lot quicker, and if we can place a model anywhere on this terrain, then that model can stay there. We'll also be able to climb up and down the roofs, so we put in some house rules to enable our fighters to get around the battlefield quickly. But the Untamed Beasts have been tracking the Corvus Cabal and are determined to wipe them out and burn down this village. So let's get the battle underway. I've just put some crosses here to show you where the Untamed Beasts are going to deploy. So we've got 2 deployment points for those, 1 in the entrance there, and we've also got 2 deployment points for the Corvus Cabal, and I've popped these on the roof just to play into the narrative. And from these deployment points we can set up our models wholly within 3 inches horizontally, but any distance vertically. So this is going to work out nicely for the Corvus Cabal and getting them onto those rooftop perches where I imagine they would be. But the Untamed Beasts have burst through the gate and now the Corvus Cabal have heard them coming and are sending the sentries up to take guard on the roof and get ready for the attack. So here we are placing our models, and with only 4 per warband, it doesn't take long at all. And here we can see the setup. We're all on the deployment points and ready for round 1 to commence. Okay, let's do the hero phase. So the Untamed Beasts roll, and we can see that they've got a double, another double, and 2 singles. The Corvus Cabal roll their hero phase, and it's going to be a double, another double, and 2 singles. So now we'll add our wild dice, and the Untamed Beasts choose to make their double a triple, and so does the Corvus Cabal. Now we've got the same number of singles, so we're rolling off, and the priority now is going to go to the Untamed Beasts. The Rocktusk Prowler is activated first, and in true Untamed Beast style, is heading right towards that closest enemy and charged within base contact. Now we're going to attack straight away, and a huge roll to begin with 1 crit and 3 hits. And that does a serious amount of damage, 11 points in total. But this Rocktusk Prowler's not finished yet, and it's going to use the triple for the Pounce ability. And this is going to do some more damage now to our Shrike Talon. And with this triple Pounce ability, they can allocate a number of damage points to the fighter equal to the value of the ability. So this is going to be 6 more points going on to that fighter because they finished a move action within 1 inch of the fighter. Now the Shrike Talon activates, and he knows that the Beast Speaker has got a double ability called Beastmaster, and if they use that on the next turn, he'll surely be taken out of the game. So he's going to disengage and then use 1 of his other actions to move, and then use a triple, so he can use the triple ability Swoop and Attack. Now this is going to give him a bonus move action, and because he finishes that move action 3 inches or more lower than where he started, he also gets a bonus attack. So he's using that on the Beast Speaker, and not a great roll. He can roll 5 dice for his attack, but he only gets 2 hits, and that's just going to deal 4 points of damage to the Beast Speaker. He really thought he could take out the Beast Speaker, but now the Beast Speaker activates and is going to retaliate with their own attack on him. And so with 2 attacks, going to roll the first attack. It's just 3 dice and a terrible roll. These are really low numbers here, so no hits. And rolls again. Still 2 bad rolls, but 1 crit. And is this enough to take the Shrike Talon out of the game? It certainly is. That's the end of the Shrike Talon. He's out really early in the first round, and that's a devastating blow to the Corvus Cabal as the Shrike Talon is removed from the battlefield. That's a huge setback to the Corvus Cabal losing the Shrike Talon, so now they've got to be careful as the Cabalist with Spear measures up to take 2 move actions to get a nice perch high up ready for the next round. But they can use one of their abilities here, and just weighing up to see if they're within 9 inches of an enemy fighter, and just picking on that Rocktusk Prowler. They're going to use a double, which is the Raven Dart, and with 1 dice rolled, a 3 to 5 is going to be 1 damage point, and that sneaky point of damage is going to end the activation for the Corvus Cabal. And now it's the turn of the Untamed Beasts. And as we look at these 2 who've entered the gate, stormed in, it's going to be the Prey Taker with Fanged Axe who activates next, and he's just measuring up to see how much distance he can cover, and he's going to take up a nice position here by that well just to get a little bit of protection with a double move action. Then the Shadow Piercer for the Corvus Cabal is going to try a little flanking maneuver with a double move, 5 inches per move, and lots of maneuvering going on now as the Heart Eater takes his activation, uses a double rush universal ability to add 1 to each move action, and with 2 movement actions is going to try and get close enough to that Shadow Piercer to attack them in the next round. So we're looking at really high value on that next priority roll. Here you can see he's got close enough to make an attack. So yeah, that priority roll is going to be a real big deal in the next round. Now we're looking up at the Spire Stalker, who's got a great vantage point there, but is getting a little bit closer with a move action and set their sights on the Rocktusk Prowler. And that brings us to the end of round 1, and we've already seen 1 casualty with the Shrike Talon being removed from the battlefield. Lots of manoeuvring now. We've still got a couple of the Corvus Cabal perched up high on the roof, ready to jump down and use some of their abilities to do some death from above. But the Untamed Beasts in true fashion have charged forward, closed in on the enemy, and are going to take some opportunities in round 2 to dish out some serious damage and maybe even unleash the beast. The round 2 hero phase begins with the Untamed Beasts, who roll, and the Corvus Cabal also roll. And let's see what we get here. The Untamed Beasts get a triple, a double, and a single, and the Corvus Cabal get 2 doubles and 2 singles. So they're going to add 1 wild dice to make a triple, but the Untamed Beasts are going to add 1 to make a quad. The Corvus Cabal sees the initiative with those 2 singles against the Untamed Beast 1 single, and have chosen for the Shadow Piercer to activate first, ready for those attacks that may come from the Heart Eater. And straight away we're going to see a double ability here, the Onslaught, and that gives an extra 1 dice roll to the attack. So the Shadow Piercer rolls 2 hits to start with, and then going to choose their next action to be an attack action 2. And whoa, we got some great rolls here, 2 crits and 3 hits, and that's going to do a total of 16 damage, but not enough to take out this Heart Eater. With no rush for that Heart Eater to retaliate, the Beast Speaker activates and wants to get close to the Rocktusk Prowler to use that double Beastmaster ability later on, and also get away from that danger that may come from above from the Corvus Cabal. So a double movement there ends that activation, and now the Spire Stalker is going to use an ability called Swift Climb, and this is a triple here, but they're going to use the triple for a double. And now, rather than jumping down and attacking, they're going to use this Swift Climb to negotiate these rooftops, and then they don't have to take any vertical measurements, so they can just go straight across and perch on this little spot here, a great vantage point for the next round. With that little bit of manoeuvring, the Heart Eater has decided to try and take out this Shadow Piercer, and is going to get stuck in with a quad ability and going to unleash the beast on the Shadow Piercer. So let's see how this goes, and this is going to be a huge amount of rolls now as we roll 6 dice altogether. The strength's gone up, the number of attacks have gone up, and we've got a crit and 3 hits from the first roll. Now we can roll another 6 dice, and this is huge. A crit, another hit, and with 2 crits and 5 hits, is this enough to take out the Shadow Piercer? And it is 20 wounds altogether, and that's going to be the Shadow Piercer now removed from the battlefield in round 2, and this is really bad news for the Corvus Cabal now. That certainly shook up the Corvus Cabal as the Cabalist with Spear, instead of pouncing and attacking the enemy, decides to be a little bit sneaky and maneuver down that rooftop and along, and so climbs down and positions themselves nicely, waiting for the next round, seeing if they can lure some of those Untamed Beasts away and let the Spire Stalker pounce maybe later on. But now it's the turn of the Rocktusk Prowler, who can make a huge move of 8 inches, and with a double move action gets right in on that Cabalist with Spear, as does the Prey Taker with Fanged Axe. And that ends the end of round 2, and what a round it was, seeing the Heart Eater taking out the Shadow Piercer with that Unleash the Beast quad ability. Awesome for the Untamed Beasts, but not so great for the Corvus Cabal. We can see here that the Cabalist with Spear is surrounded by 2 powerful warriors. The Beast Speaker is split up from the Rocktusk Prowler, and so won't be able to use that double ability, the Beastmaster, but at this point they don't care. They've got a good command over this battle, and with a Heart Eater about to move in as well, round 3 is going to be really interesting. The round 3 hero phase begins with the Untamed Beasts rolling their 6 dice, and they're going to end up with a double and 4 singles. The Corvus Cabal roll a triple, a double, and 1 single, and so the Untamed Beasts make their double a triple, and the Corvus Cabal make their triple a quad. And here we can see the Untamed Beasts are going to act first with their Prey Taker with Fanged Axe taking out, or trying to take out, the Cabalist with Spear. And with 3 rolls, 1 hits, so that's 1 hit sneaking in there, another roll, and that's 2 more hits and a miss. So 3 hits in total on our Cabalist with Spear, and that's going to put 6 points of damage on this fighter. This Cabalist with Spear can be a pretty tough customer, and as he takes those blows, he turns around and puts an attack on the Rocktusk Prowler using his double for the Onslaught ability. So now he can add 1 to his attack roll, rolling 5 dice, and this isn't bad. That's 1 hit and 1 critical hit, and he chooses to roll again, and it's another crit and another hit, so not bad at all. But I don't think this is going to be enough to take out that Rocktusk Prowler, but it certainly puts on 10 points of damage. And now it's the turn of the Rocktusk Prowler to retaliate, and he's going to come straight in with an attack himself. 4 dice. This is a powerful beast, and what a huge roll, 2 attacks and a crit, and that's plenty to take out this Cabalist with spear. He put up a little bit of a fight, but it certainly wasn't enough against these two tough Untamed Beasts, and he's removed from the battlefield. His day is done. The Roktas Prowler has one action remaining, and sensing that Spire Stalker may try and make a run for it back through the gate, he tries to cut them off and moves into position. But now it's the turn of the Spire Stalker, and let's see what he's going to do as he eyes up the battlefield. He goes straight in with a quad, and so he's going to be able to use the death from the above ability here, and this is going to give an extra bonus move action, and he uses that well so he doesn't have to take any falling damage, and gets right up against that Roktas Prowler. And now, because he went lower than 3 inches, he can actually make an attack on him for free, and what a great roll it is too. So he makes 1 hit and 1 critical hit, and that's going to put some damage on the Roktas Prowler, but not enough to take him out. So he's going to use one of his actions to roll again, and we've got another hit and another critical hit, and this time it is enough to take out the Roktas Prowler. That beast had a good run all through rounds 1, 2 and 3, but now that's enough. The Spire Stalker was pretty fierce there, taking him out, and he's removed from the battlefield. The Spire Stalker's got some options now, but he's weighing up the distance between him and that Prey Taker with Fanged Axe, and he moves right into base contact, and is pretty confident that in the next round he may get priority and be able to attack him and even take him out. But the Heart Eater anticipates that and does a double move action, again getting in base contact, and so does the Beast Speaker, getting as close as she can there. And you can see now at the end of round 3 that Spire Stalker is completely surrounded, and going into the next round he's in some serious trouble here. Round 4 has to be the final round with this predicament for the Corvus Cabal here, and the Untamed Beasts roll the hero phase, and let's see what they get. It looks like they've got a triple, a double and a single, and the Corvus Cabal roll, and they're going to get a double, another double and 2 singles. So they're going to add their wild dice and guarantee they get the initiative this turn, but the Untamed Beasts turn that triple into a quad. So the Spire Stalker is going to go first, and he eyes up the different fighters here, and he goes straight for the Heart Eater. He's not messing about. He wants to take out their leader, and he's going to use the universal ability, the double onslaught, to give him an extra attack roll, and it's a huge roll. He's got 2 critical hits there, and that's going to do some serious damage, and that's enough to take out the Heart Eater in his first action, a heroic move, and takes him out of the game. And now we're going to see the Heart Eater. He had a good battle, but now he's removed from the battlefield, and now the Spire Stalker's left with just 2 opponents. The Spire Stalker eyes up the Prey Taker with Fanged Axe. He's got another action, so he's going to attack him. Again, he can roll 5 dice here, and so this could be a huge turnaround if he gets a good roll. And with those 5 dice, it's an awful roll. He gets 1 critical hit and 1 hit. No, just a critical hit. That's not good enough. That's certainly not going to do much at all. 4 points of damage, but with a desperate last stand rule, he actually can use all the abilities if he's got enough dice. So with a double, he can use the Corvus Cabal Raven Dart, and he rolls, he gets the 3, and that's just going to be 1 extra point of damage. And so that's going to be 5 points of damage in total on the Prey Taker, not enough to take him out. And so now it's the Untamed Beast's turn to activate, and look what they're doing. They're going straight in with that quad. They're unleashing the beast again, and this is not good news at all, as we see 2 attacks coming in, 2 hits to start with, a critical hit and 2 more hits. This surely is enough to take out the Spire Stalker from the battle. But it's not. It's only 12 points of damage. So now it's got to be up to the Beast Speaker, and can they take out this fighter, or is it going to be a bit of an upset here? So the Untamed Beasts have got a double, and they go right in with an ability called Savage Fury, and so they can add 1 to their attacks characteristic here, rolling 2 hits and a crit, and that really is enough now. The Spire Stalker is taken out. He put up a great fight towards the end, taking out the Heart Eater and almost taking out the Prey Taker too, but he's removed from the battlefield, and that brings us to the end of this battle. The Spire Stalker nearly caused a bit of an upset there, but with 3 of the Untamed Beasts surrounding him, he had no chance, and was taken out of the game for a victory for the Untamed Beasts. With 2 surviving warriors left on the battlefield, they did really well with not many damage points, and you can see that with all 4 of the Corvus Cabal taken out, only 2 of the Untamed Beasts, but in Warcry, fortunes can turn in an instant, and victory is never guaranteed. In true Untamed fashion, they can't leave this village intact, so let's cue some terrible special effects as the Untamed Beasts set aflame this village and leave for the wastelands. I think using this lower point value for the warbands is really fun, and having 4 fighters on each side was really good. It kind of sped things up, made it a lot quicker. Warcry's pretty quick anyway, but playing this smaller game like this was really good. I really enjoyed it, and we tried playing a couple of games like this with the same miniatures, and the result was really close because it can really flip quite quickly. And I really like being able to use that last stand rule so that the last remaining fighter in the warband can use loads of different abilities in their turn, and that can really change things around. So that was really fun. It's definitely not going to work with all the Age of Sigmar warbands, but I really think it's going to be good for the Warcry, original Warcry warbands. So I think we could make it work for that if you're selective about which fighters you choose and not going for the lowest point ones and then just putting tons of them on the battlefield, choosing some of the higher point ones and balancing it out on each side. So it's certainly not going to be competitive, but I think there's loads of room here for some narrative fun, for some quick games. If you've got kids and you want to play it and streamline the rules a little bit, like I've done here, removing some of the victory conditions and the twists, then I think that's a really good way to go. I'd like to see how some of the other warbands fare against each other, and if you enjoyed this video and like seeing these smaller point value warbands going at it, then let me know in the comments section below, and I'll definitely do some more videos because I really enjoyed this. I think it's good just focusing on fewer miniatures and just really letting them use all those abilities with just like some of the higher point value ones. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you liked it and what you think of this format. It'd be great to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'd be great to see you there.